everyone. Hi, Facebook. I think if you've listened to our Facebook Lives before, you will have met me, but I'll intro myself again just in case. So I'm Michelle Crawford, and I'm the Chief Conversationalist from Being More Human. Would you like to intro yourself, madam?
And I'm Nicci Richmond, leading light training and performance with Being More Human.
Leading light. Can I just ask anyone else who is listening, have you ever heard the job title Leading Light Training and Performance? Because every time you say that or I see it on your card, I just get all these warm fuzzies because I love it. What made you come up with that out of interest?
It was actually, I was struggling with a title that I felt was me, and it was actually my best friend who was once a client, and she talked about what I brought into the training room for her staff, and she came up with the name Leading Light.
Well,
so,
you couldn't get anything more perfect, I don't think, so that's great. So thanks for joining us today. Feel free, as we're having the conversation, if you've got any questions, just pop the question in the comment box below. Or if you like something that we're saying, or you want to encourage something that we're saying, then you can send us some love, heart, love, or what's the other one? There's a thumbs up and a love heart. So you can choose between that's great or we love it. And either way, we're going to be pretty happy with that.
There's all kinds of funny faces on there. If you
there
scroll
is
across,
actually, yeah. There's also like angry face if you don't like what we're doing, angry faces, that's fine. So today, our topic that we wanted to talk about and focus on is about teams and how teams work and the connection between teams and purpose. And particularly in our world, we like to connect those two things, don't we?
We do.
I thought it'd be good to kick off by asking Nicci of a team that she knows of that is really having some challenges. So this could be from anywhere in your background or any client that you might have worked with. So a team that's having some really tricky things that they're looking to deal with. And what are some of those things?
I'll talk about a team that when they started together were having challenges and have now evolved.
Okay, beautiful.
Which
Good
is,
example.
a lovely... Yeah. So when the team started together, they come from an industry where there is quite a lot of gossip, back chat, so when they came together, there was not a lot of trust. People would talk about each other rather than to each other. They'd notice the failings of other people, and they were very willing to bring them up in front of clients and in front of each other, but never really to the person that they had the concern with.
So without knowing that by doing that, they're actually undermining each other in front of a client or in front of another team.
The trust was not, the trust wasn't there.
Yeah. Okay.
So what you saw was a lot of turnover, not happy people not enjoying the work that they were doing, and just this sense of not a happy environment. So over time, everything was redefined. So the purpose of the business was redefined. The values were very clearly defined, and conversations were had about what these values mean. Some staff left because it wasn't the right alignment, which meant that the right people could come in as well. And during that time, the work that we've done with them is to build that trust. So focusing on the strengths, having sessions where we really spent time getting to know each other's strengths, appreciating the differences in behavioural styles. And
can I pause you there, because I'd like you to talk to that a little bit more. Like, obviously, because of how fabulous humans are, no two are the same, and that's probably something we can be grateful for. But in a workplace, and particularly in a team setting, this idea of people bringing different things into the team can be both a really good strength for a team and also a weakness for the team. So tell us how that plays out when teams are trying to struggle with all the different elements.
So I talk about behavioural styles rather than personality, because personality brings in everything that's happened to you in your life, genetics, nature, nurture, all those sorts of things. When you talk about behaviours, there are certain things that everybody can see and perceive. So for me, when I look at my behavioural style, I might come across to somebody who reacts well to that behavioural style as enthusiastic, collaborative, knowledge sharing, a people person to somebody else who likes detail and who needs the facts and the information, I might come across as ditzy or so different behavioural styles really impact how people can work together in the workplace.
Yeah.
When you start understanding those behavioural styles, you see that they can work really beautifully together once you understand that this is this person, it's not how they think of you.
So it's, are you saying that it's not necessarily that someone gets out of bed in the morning and goes, I'm going to be the most horrid team member today that I can possibly be. Let's see what havoc that I can wreak today. You're saying that people actually don't do that?
Well, for some reason they don't. Everybody wants to enjoy themselves. Okay. Everyone wants to have, I believe everyone wants to have a good day at work. Nobody wants to set out to make someone else's life miserable. However, one person might come to work and go, I've got lots to do today. I'm focusing on action, I'm focusing on achieving things, and I'm focusing on getting the task done. So with that mindset, they're going in, heading off. Somebody else might be very people-focused and care about the details, and this dynamic can cause a little bit of stress in the workplace, because one person might be taking it personally that this person doesn't want to know about what the people things are going on, they just want to get the job done.
So, I'm going to ask the $20 million question, is task more important or is people more important?
I think they've both got their place.
Okay.
But people, when you understand the people around you and you bring the people on board, then the tasks can get done. What do you think?
Okay. I would think a similar thing. I would think there's, like in most things, I would take the end view. And, I have seen examples of a lot of different teams who are too task focused and don't understand enough about people. And equally, I've seen teams that are so people focused, they actually don't get anything done.
Task, yeah.
And so I think either of those two extremes is not the place that you want to be, but it's about, like you're talking about, valuing what people have to bring, not resisting it. Or
in a perfect team, you've got a combination of everything, and as long as people understand where that person's coming from, they use those strengths to get the outcomes that they need for the business.
Yeah.
So I've worked with people who, when you look across the dynamic there, we should have conflict in the workplace, but we are fantastically suited because we've worked out where the other person fills the gaps that we have.
What you're good at. So does that mean that potentially if there's a lot of conflict within a team, that one of the things to consider is this issue of whether everyone's working in their sweet spot in the first place? So is the fit actually working well for people?
And are there gaps in that team? Or is everybody in one certain spot? Everyone's got the same sweet spot and things aren't being achieved in other places.
Yeah, cool. Okay. So tell us, we're talking about this notion of teams and building teams, but through a purpose-focused lens, if you like. And I guess my first comment about that is I just love that, because in all the research that it tells us about why people go to work in essence for meaning. Sure, they want money, but that usually comes third or fourth on the list. So the thing that people are always wanting from the workplace is meaning, and it's equally the thing that a lot of people don't get from the workplace. So tell us how this idea of building teams in a purpose focus helps address some of that.
When people come together and or should we talk about specifically?
Yeah, you can talk specifically. Yeah.
So we have a project, a group that we're working with called the Waterworks program, and they have a focus on providing filtered water to villages throughout Africa. And the point of that is we bring teams together, they have a purpose of this is the outcome we want. We're actually going to make a difference to somebody, a tangible difference to other people's lives. But at the same time, as a team, we're going to build on each other's strengths, understand each other to meet this outcome, to meet this purpose. So, yeah.
That's cool. And I feel particularly passionate about this project because I used to live in East Africa, and particularly in Kenya, for a long period of time, and I love the idea that we can do something back here in Australia that is both building team capability in organisations and corporates in Australia, but with this amazing focus about, and we're trying to be a little bit elusive because there's a little bit of a secret when you actually do the program. So we're intentionally trying not to tell you all the gory details about what happens, but in connecting to this community, and whether it's in Uganda or Kenya, there's obviously this massive amount of, you know, pride and interest and just feeling warm fuzzy about that you just don't get from other kind of team building initiatives.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So do you want to share a little bit more detail about what some of our goals are? We're going to set a goal around this that we'd love each of you to be part of.
So part of being more human is we want to make a difference. We want to see things change as a result of what we do and have a social impact. So we have decided to set ourselves a big goal of making a difference to 40 families in, now how do you say the name of the village?
I would say Renwi, that's how I would say it, and Kamwengi is the district. So
yes, we will contribute 40 clean water filters to...
This might be backwards, but I will show you just so I can show you what we're pointing to, which is the map of Uganda and Kenya on one side and Congo on the other side. So I've lived and worked here in Congo and also over here in Kenya, and certainly been in Uganda as well.
So we're putting a challenge to ourselves and a challenge out to our clients as well, to have a purpose team building session where there are learning outcomes that make sense from a business perspective. There's collaboration, understanding each other's strengths, customer focus, a range of learning outcomes. So making a difference to the business and to the team, as well as giving back to a community at the same time. And do you want to talk about the little
And
bit
this is the extra set of
Yeah.
steak knives part of the conversation. Because, you know, when we're chatting about it, we're like, how can we make it even more juicy and even more lovely for corporates that buy to be able to feel like they're also contributing? So the other element to it is that in the same, the pay it forward concept basically. So you buy one of the team building sessions from Being More Human, and at the same time we will do one on your behalf for either a school or a not-for-profit that you nominate. So it might be an organisation you already have some connection to. If you don't want to nominate someone, then we will do one with an organisation that we nominate. So you get the double bunger, triple bunger effect really. So you get the stuff that's actually happening directly for you, plus the pay it forward that you're giving to a local organisation, not-for-profit or an education school, and then the developing country piece in addition to that around the connection to the communities in Uganda or to Kenya. Yeah. So can you tell me what kind of organisations do you think would actually suit this sort of an offer?
Gosh.
In your mind, how can you see it playing out for somebody?
Any organisation who feels that there are challenges within their teams at the moment. You know, there mightn't be the trust that exists, or the communication mightn't be so clear. Supervisors might be challenged with how to bring out the best in their staff. So really, any organisation that is feeling things could be better for their team. You know, turnover's high, engagement's low.
Yeah.
People are struggling. The lack of unplanned absenteeism. So the data's showing that something needs to change.
Yeah, so basically if you're in a situation where your team is experiencing any of these kind of symptoms that Nicci's just referred to, don't ever think that you can't do anything about that, because they're totally reversible, and they're totally, it's not that you're fixing it, but you're helping it to emerge in a way that's more effective. And that's completely doable no matter what team you're in.
And there's also the organisations whose teams are functioning well, but you know, it's time to have a bit of a team building day, time to strengthen it up again. And also people in the business are wanting to make a difference. So it can be challenging, you know, there's so much good that can be done in the world. It's challenging to find the time to make a difference, to build your team, to do all those things. So this way you can pull the team together for a short period of time, up to 2 hours. And make a massive difference in that period of time. So it's a business, so it will really suit many teams.
And I know I worked with a client a little while ago with this particular offering that we have, and for them it was about basically a gift to their team, because their team had been really high performing for that year, and meeting all these targets that were required, and they had just relocated to a new premises as well. So it was like and I thought it was so cool, because from the CEO's point of view, it was like just a really thank you gift.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
And speaking of thank you, it's a good segue into us letting you know something else that's going on behind closed doors, which is that we're currently negotiating with Thank You Water, who is the big company in Australia that sells bottled water, and they sell muesli bars and a whole range of other different products. So if you don't know their model, basically how they work is that they make a profit, and 100% of the profit that's left over after their expenses are taken out are sent into developing countries for a range of different initiatives with different on-the-ground partners. And because what they are doing and what we are doing is so aligned, we're in discussions with them at the moment around distributing this offer through their network, which would be cool. Yeah. Thank you in advance. Thank you, Water. So if you would like to jump on and be part of this, please go. You can go straight to our website, is the best place to go, which is 3Ws. I was about to say thank you, Water. 3Ws.beingmorehuman.com.au, and you can have a bit of a sense and a feel for what we do. And if you're keen to jump on this offer, you can either respond directly to the Facebook live stream or go through our website. Either way is all good with us.
And if you want to read a little bit more about what it looks like as a team building session, under the blogs is Michelle's blog, Turning Water into Purpose. So that will give you a little bit more understanding about what it looks like as a team program.
And speaking team, the lovely Tony's over there very patiently holding the phone for the Facebook Live. Do you have 2 cents worth that you'd like to add? Oh, Teeny? No. It's very rare she says no when we ask her if she wants to say something. So.
You're doing great. I'm just holding the phone.
Did you want to wrap up with anything?
No, I think we've said it all.
Oh, good. Yeah. Okay. So if you're interested, jump on. Otherwise, check out our website, and we'll be with you next Monday. Look forward to it. Thanks, everyone.